I guess it's because you guys started it a little later than us, but welcome everybody. It's DIlem-Monday. And as you can see, we have a little bit of a setup. We decided we were last week on the air, we were going to do a barbecue on air. And well, here we are. We are at our DIlem-Monday barbecue right now. So welcome to the party. We're glad you could join us. Yeah, it's cool to have everyone in the same room.
It's nice for once. Usually it doesn't happen.
Yeah, true.
Well, it is Memorial Day. We should have a barbecue to celebrate. So
Right.
we did.
Yeah, no, obviously, let's start off. The Memorial Day is, for our fallen troops, and I think we should pull it out for our fallen soldiers out there. There we go. Nothing says freedom like peanut butter whiskey. Pretty good though. It is good.
Peanut butter whiskey.
Peanut butter
Peanut
whiskey.
butter whiskey
That is very
actually
good
really
stuff.
good.
It's super good.
Ooh.
Yes.
Like it's a whiskey for non-whiskey drinkers, clearly. But it's
I've seen it at the bar over there. I just
yeah,
a lot of bars
it
have it.
tastes like peanut butter.
It's
Yeah.
literally, I know it sounds strange, like on paper, but once you taste it, it's actually really good.
There's no reason it should be like this.
Yeah.
At all. Oh my god, this feels so podcasty for the first time because we're all in a row here. We're all like talking across the room. It's not like there's no waiting for like the video to kind of like load and come in.
For
That's
me to
sick.
forget that I muted myself.
Yes. Oh.
Or put some funky like headliner thing on the bottom.
Well,
Oh
well,
my
we'll
god.
still
that's-
do that. I mean,
That's the part that I think I'm like the most sad about, that we don't have the quirky. No, it also can't cover up when I'm like sharing this into like groups. There's none of the awkward pause that there could be like another set of people speaking.
when you're about to share something.
Oh yeah, no, I'm just getting myself acquainted to our setup for the evening. Which again, we'll make this a little more finite. I feel like next time around it'll be everyone here around the couch. But
I'll stand
Yeah.
outside the window and look.
I think that was
Outside with a sign. or
With a
something like
mic.
I should have like hired someone like ready to go.
well, we should have been out by the gazebo,
And
or
if we
we
could
should have
figure
been
out
out
how
by
to
the
ex-
pool.
And when greater minds than ourselves, technologically speaking, can prevail to get it, that we have
Chill by the fire pit.
Wi-Fi out there. Can't you get like an outdoor Wi-Fi like router thingy? For, like,
We have one.
no, but like specifically for when you're out. So like you're
No,
outdoor.
we have that extra unit that
Chipmunks are
we
using
bought.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah, they're using it for their pool party out there.
yeah. These
Yeah,
chipmunks
the
are getting out. Of hand.
Chipmunks have so we the pool has got too much water because obviously it's been raining, and evidently chipmunks don't understand that they can't climb out once they go in. It's like kind of Hotel California for them. Once they check in, they've been leaving, but out of my skimmer and throwing them into the woods.
They leave in a different dimension
Yeah.
than they entered.
Aw.
It's a long sleep.
Hotel California, it's supposed to be hell though, right? Like you're literally going to hell. Wasn't that the whole thing that they wrote about?
Hotel California.
Yeah.
Well, I thought it was about like prostitution.
Okay, what's everyone's Hotel California theory?
Very
So where did the prostitute theory come from?
I have no idea.
Like-
Is this one of those topics you're going to bring up and have no knowledge of whatsoever?
I have no knowledge about this. I just love the song. That's it.
Great
Yeah.
song.
Solo's
maybe it's about going to
phenomenal.
hell.
Well,
Maybe it's about prostitutes.
well, like that line, like the champagne on ice and the mirrors on the ceiling and
Oh yeah. Well,
stab
and that-
it. The
Well, yeah,
beast.
it's sadistic. It's hedonistic. It's
It's like
it's-
stab it with the stealing lies.
that was a line about Steely Dan, who the Eagles kind of always had this like kind of competition with.
Really
Don Henley and Glenn Fry wanted to be considered like serious lyric writers, and like,
Don Henley. Don't get me
and two of
started
them
on that
really
guy.
did not like that those guys were like the lyrical band, so there was beef. So they wrote in lyrics about each other in their songs.
But you don't know about Hotel California.
No, I know. So I know the warm smell of colitas. Colitas roughly translates to little tails. That so they're on the road. They're smoking weed, and they got too high, and they think that they need to pull over, but really they pulled over into eternity. And they're like, "You think that this is hedonistic? You think this is heaven? No, you're done. And you don't get to leave this."
Oh, what strain of weed is that?
Yeah, really.
Whatever they were doing.
Have Mike
whatever was
or
happening in the
Jack
70s.
tried that strain yet?
Oh my.
But yeah, no. So wild.
Or Dave.
Or Dave, yeah.
Yeah.
Or Dave.
So Dave, we missed you last week.
Yes, I miss you guys as well.
How was your show?
It was good. It was a small audience. For a Monday, it was a restaurant. It was nice. It was 1,500 people. Yeah, I'm trying to stay in the shop.
It's okay.
But it was nice. Yes.
Excellent.
So a Monday show, does that happen often in a comedy situation? Because it's every once in a blue moon, maybe on the music side of things where you get it. And it would be a restaurant or something. Who's just trying to get some extra business on a Monday.
I think that's
night.
what it was. It's infrequent because Monday's generally the deadest night for restaurants.
They close usually, right?
Some
on Mondays,
restaurants
yeah.
don't even open that day. I think if they have other things like trivia one night, bands one night,
Sure.
they might not have any other nights in their week when a new guy comes and says, "Can we try comedy here?" So they give them Monday and say, "Let's see what we can do." But they had a few people who were there for that. 18, 20, I don't know how long they'll go. It'll probably be like a monthly thing for them, but.
No, I think it's great.
Yeah.
The only
Yeah.
time I remember a Monday show, the bitter end. Speaking of Hotel California and bitterness, so the great Danny Ryler and Corey Riemann once played at the bitter end on a Wednesday and had 38 people show up. Which is pretty good because the way the bitter end works is you get 45-minute sets. They have a whole back line for you, so you don't have to bring anything. And if you want to sit close, you have a 2-drink minimum. And all your people come in at that time, and you make anybody who walks in the door who says, "I'm here to see whoever I'm here to see," they pay. Now, if you want to stay for the second act, though, you have another 2-drink minimum, or you have to go up to the other level where the bar is. And eventually they really want you to leave because they want the next group of people to pay and get in.
Yeah.
So on a Wednesday night at about 8:00, Corey drew 38 people, which is really good. A Connecticut duo coming in and all originals. So they're like, well, we want to have your band play. They gave us a Monday night at 9. A Monday night at 9.
Who does that?
And there was a Leon Russell tribute cover band
Which
before
they were
us.
sick, by the way.
They were
That was
great, but they had
awesome.
like 15 people and only 4 people in the crowd.
Me being one of them.
Right. He actually paid to get in. So we had 10 people show up for us.
Yeah.
And I'm like, to the guy, I'm like, dude, you got 10 people from a Connecticut band on a Monday night and you're complaining? This is like 10 years ago. But it was like absurd to me that you're complaining on a Monday night at this time that a band from Connecticut brought 10 people. When
James,
the Leon
how
Russell,
hard would it be for us to get you to like something on a Monday?
It would be too difficult.
Besides this.
Whoa.
and to go to Manhattan, yes.
Yeah,
you want
to
to go
go
to
to
the
Manhattan.
Greenwich Village area on a Monday night at 9:00.
It would be too difficult because it would be considered a school night, and I have to go in and teach students who are having a hard time in May. So it'd be highly unlikely.
You're on that last win.
I'm on that stretch right now. I'm just like this is so difficult. I'm like, I'm
Steph
sick of
is our
everything.
social media director who lives on Long Island. She ain't coming at 9:00 on a Monday to see you at the bitter end.
It's like,
I can
sorry.
assure you that.
It's like, sorry, I love you guys. I'm not traveling 2.5 hours when I have to travel 2.5 hours.
Oh yeah, no, that's Oh, on a Monday. That's insane.
Mondays suck.
No, and
People don't go out.
we have never said yes to an invitation ever again after that. Like, dude, really?
So not only that, but you're gonna give me a hard time about like trying to. Do
Oh, and he
something.
yelled at you because your
Oh,
SG
just-
kept going out of tune.
It's like sorry that your room is like so weirdly intemperate.
Is that a word,
I
intemperate?
don't know.
Probably.
It's not.
I mean, I would try it in
It's
Scrabble.
not
if-
tempered correctly or something like
I
that.
have no idea.
Yeah, I
don't
think Steph
know.
had it right. Tempered.
Tempered. Well,
Yeah,
I mean
I don't know.
that's the term they use when they like they temper the chocolate to make sure it's a certain
It's
like,
certain temperature.
to melt it and keep it melted. Certain because
So
chocolate.
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 Speaking of which, Corey, I bought you. I went to the mall
Should
today.
we wait? Should we do this like right now?
We should do
Why
it
we-
live.
Why
I don't even know what we got.
Yes, what are we
What's even
doing?
happening
Corey
right
Riemann
now?
has never tried the trending Dubai chocolate bar.
What?
So
What is
I
that?
Dubai chocolate.
What
it's
is that?
it's a
I
chocolate
do
bar.
buy chocolate a lot.
It's
That
a
should be the name of the
Dubai
slogan.
chocolate bar. It is. What's it say on the
so
front,
let's-
Corey?
let's see.
I got it at the mall, so I don't know how good it is. It's not really.
The Dubai.
It's not from
Actual-
Milk
Dubai.
chocolate
It's not
with
from Dubai.
pistachio white chocolate filled with pistachio cream and crunchy
Kanafe or something.
Kanafe?
Kanafa.
That sounds freaking amazing.
let's-
Yeah, it actually is.
All right, let's do this.
So we're all doing a taste test, basically.
We're doing this live.
A little
Live
freaking
on
thing
the
was
air,
like
look at
$12.
I
Still don't even share this.
The new the top trending one is they make one now, but it's made with cotton candy on it.
All right, let's see.
Oh.
Who makes this?
some Dubai
It
chocolate.
originated in
UAE.
Dubai.
Oh.
It originated. It's not really called like a Dubai chocolate.
You did save some for yourself, right?
Yeah.
All right. All at once on this Memorial Day.
Look at that chocolate.
Chocolate. All right, here we go.
Chocolate.
I'm going for it.
Chocolate.
Chocolate.
Okay.
Taste of pistachio.
Mm-hmm.
Good.
Really good.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
I approve.
And there's other varieties, you said?
There's another one that's like trending. It's I think it also originated in Dubai, although I could be wrong. It's got like cotton candy in it. But when I went to the mall to get that one at this store called Showcase, they had all different flavors. They had like cookies and cream, coffee, this regular pistachio one.
That's really good.
That was
Yeah.
really good.
Yeah, no, it's good.
That's very good. Very good. Love that.
Now we bought 3 weeks ago when we played at Hershey. Steph's starting in the kitchen. We have 3 boxes of Reese's, Oreo chocolate,
That's the cookies and cream. The
cookies and cream.
Yeah.
Now the cookies and cream
Oh, I
chocolate,
saw that.
and then we have the specialty dark chocolate.
The cups, or what is it exactly?
No, the bars.
Oh.
But the Reese's are the cups.
Yeah, the Reese's are the cups. Don't worry, I'll give you some before you leave today. Sitting right.
I
in the
just meant
kitchen.
those are going to have a long shelf life. You don't have to worry about them going bad. You can refrigerate them or freeze them, but those.
Their
those
long
for a
shelf
while.
life won't be long.
I just well, Reese's don't last.
You know,
A lot of candy.
especially if you actually have a practice and Michael Lenoso shows up. Sweet Tooth Mike will come right in there. First thing he does when he walks in the door, Lisa, you have some of the candy that you always leave for me, Lisa.
He
So-
depends on us to buy stuff from Sweetwater, or else he wouldn't be able to function because they give you the candy at the end of the day. which-
Yeah.
Ugh.
So there is always candy at this house. But so Corey, we had a long week this week.
We had a very long week, and I am so happy that it's now another week. I didn't even get to let the week end. It's just going into the next one.
Yeah, so we started Wednesday. We drove all the way to Clinton, New York, which is slightly above Utica, I guess. I don't even know if it's above, but it's about 25 minutes away from Utica. That's probably the biggest city next to Clinton for Hamilton College.
It's
Yeah.
very-
It's about 3.5. The nice thing though, when you go up, past like that Albany area and that
Yeah.
whole thing, if you live in the Avon area, you cut through the Berkshires.
That's awesome.
So you come out by Lee, by the what's called the
Western
outlets.
Mass.
Yeah, so you come out all the way over there. She's the best. So you come out. So the first hour of the ride, there's no traffic, and it's absolutely gorgeous because you're going through the mountains and the streams and the what's the bridges with the roofs on it,
the covered bridges.
the covered bridges, and it's just gorgeous territory. And then really you're shooting from Mass to New York. It takes a few minutes from there. Like literally, it's an hour to get to an hour. It's like 35 minutes to get to Albany from there. So, in less than 2 hours, you're in Albany, and it's an easy trip. You hit zero traffic. And then, the next hour and a half is, again, pretty easy. You're on like the throughway, just going up. So it's not a bad ride. And we play there so often in that Lake George, Albany region that we know all the restaurants. We know the halfway points. So there is a Denny's.
It's the same Denny's.
We go to the same Denny's.
And let me tell you, when you go to this Denny's, when you ask for extra cheese, they give you extra cheese. It's not like most of these Denny's where you say extra cheese and they give you something to make it look like it. They put a little extra on it. No, this place gave me extra, cheese, and it's great. Now we're gonna have to pray and hope that the sound effects.
I briefly heard it, by the way.
Okay.
Very minute.
Yeah, I have the headphones going over there as our.
He usually
So-
yells over it anyway, so it's
Yeah,
Oh,
right.
He always does.
But yeah, so we go to the same Denny's every single time. You know, we have this route kind of perfect. Now we get to Utica because you know when you take one of these trips, you want to stop at the hotel first. Just one because you can get some of the crap out of the car. You know, so
That alone, because like you don't want to bring like your clothing and like your toothbrush to a gig, even though we had two green rooms, 2 full dressing room green rooms, not just green rooms. Like here's a closet that we have. You want to just like get dressed in there? No, these were like dressing rooms, which awesome, loved that.
But I
That's
do
a
need
lot.
to rip on the hotel, and I have to rip on myself for being the booker of the hotel.
It's your only time in like 15 years ever really getting a.
I didn't do a good job. We booked the Best Western. Now I know that when you stay upstate New York, there's a lot more Best Westerns than there are other hotel chains and stuff in that area. And we had just stayed at a really nice one. The one in Waltham, Massachusetts is great. Probably the nicest staff you'll ever deal with at the Waltham Best Western. They're terrific.
They really work very.
And they're actually going through a renovation, but they're handling it wonderfully. My daughter tells me, she goes, Dad, that Best Western that you just booked, I looked it up because my daughter checks everything I do. She's from the generation of I will check my parents no matter what. She goes, that's not a Best Western Plus and it's not a Best Western Premier. You realize you're just saying it a Best Western. I'm like, but it looks so nice from the outside. How bad can it be?
Uh-oh.
Well, we get there. And
That was correct.
that what?
That Japanese was correct.
Wow, you just called my daughter a man. That's not nice. She was absolutely correct though. It's an old motel
Oh no.
that they put like an outside
Like they enclosed it.
they
in
enclosed the
glass.
outside, when you had the old outside ones that you'd pull up right to the door.
Yeah.
So they enclosed the area so you can go through the main through the lobby, but it's not really go through the lobby. It's like an outdoor screened in patio and you walk through and the doors are barely working. Like you could push them
It
open.
was insane. It was
The bathrooms were tiny.
the
Just
toilet seat was barely
it
screwed
was
on.
yes. And they
I
were
felt like I was in the Bates movie.
Jack and poor Jimmy. They were like, there's stuff all over the floor, dude. I don't want to mention
There
what
were
they said.
hairs.
There were hairs on the
There were
floor.
individual curly hairs on the floor.
rabbits.
Oh.
So-
No.
I won't mention names, but someone in our staff got pink eye
Oh.
at this hotel.
Yes.
Someone
So
in the staff got pink eye.
That is.
yeah.
That is
So
unfortunate.
it was not the best.
Did anyone in one of your classes get pink eye yet?
No.
Hell yeah, you still got a couple weeks to
I,
go.
Yeah.
I will admit, in college, I think it was horrible.
You
So
know,
bad.
we got through this night there, but we got there and beautiful. Like they had such a great sound system. Their team was fabulous. They had 2 green rooms for us, and right before we play,
Seriously, good question.
they come up to us and said, "Hey, look, something really horrible happened on campus today." And one of the kids at the school committed suicide.
It's horrible.
It was absolutely
They're
dreadful.
like,
On that
wait,
day- on
wait,
that
you
day.
you missed the mark though. They're like, yeah, no one might show up tonight. We're like, what? What do you mean no one might show up? Someone on campus, ended their life. And we're like,
On that day.
Yeah,
hours.
like a
prior.
little bit before we got there.
We unfortunately we shouldn't have mentioned the campus we were on.
Well, but the people there couldn't have been nicer, and like the sound people were phenomenal, and some people did coming because one of the nice things about music is that it is something that makes you feel a little bit better on a really bad day. And overall, everything worked out great. The people loved the band that were able to show, but it was quite a day
It was already
to say the least. But
and even when you don't know someone, like in that, you're
by the way,
almost-
Alicia Riemann is watching from Dallas.
Oh, there
She's
you go.
on the cast. So I do see that someone else is here who we got the absolute privilege to be hanging out with on Friday. So Corey, you want to talk about what Friday was all about?
So Friday was an absolute blast. Friday night, I hosted the LaSalle Market Open Mic, the one that I had attended since I was a kid. That's where I learned how to be, a musician and how to, also how not to be as a musician. And I love the spot. One of my favorite places in the entire world, and I got the honor to actually host the open mic one time, which was great. And I'm hoping I get to do it again.
And they had just bought a brand new
speaker from Sono Studios.
Yes.
Yes, and I'm really excited for them on that end. They have a new system, and
it sounded fantastic, by the way.
And yeah, Bill and Eric are going to do a great job using that system. I know Bill knows it well, and I know Eric's just a genius. So spot on, hell yeah, righteous.
And we had a great crowd too. You want to talk about an eclectic group of performers that were there that night. And all levels of the performance realm. From professionals just trying out 2 songs to people that never really played that much before or haven't played in many, many years. And we had one person played the bass to a soundtrack, did a fantastic job.
That was cool.
We actually had 2 people.
We had 2. Yeah, we had 2. So we had a female bass player, and we had Robert Scala, who played. Roberts was cool. He was playing
Mark bass, a small Mark bass.
Mark bass and a fretless bass and singing, playing solo. Oh, and I'm playing harmonica too. It was awesome. It was it was groovy. He was into it. Something about because obviously you see plenty of acoustic guitar players with a harmonica singing solo. He's a great bass player. To the fact that he's able to play, especially on that fretless, he's able to play just the bass, just him, and it's enough to be satisfying.
He and Danny put out an album a number of years. Danny Riley did an album for him. So if you're ever looking up Robert Scala's album, it's available. But by the way, there was a person next to me. She did 2 songs. Steph killed it, as one of the professional people out there, and she showed off a little bit her vocal range.
And Corey backed me up there.
Hell yeah!
He was doing the guitar.
You helped him.
I played a little harmonica as well.
And harmonica.
Yay!
But no, it was great. We had we had Tara's band.
Yes, the
Monahans.
The Monahans came, and
I love their stuff.
They pick great songs.
They pick the best songs. They're they always should pick old doo-wop, R&B, the stuff I have in this pile over here, singles wise, it's the best stuff. Best stuff.
No, really good stuff. And like I said, and obviously Bill played, Eric played. There was just a number of people that came up, and we had a great night. LaSalle is just they're better than ever right now. They're back on Friday nights. Everybody, if you have a free Friday night, go down there. The food's always terrific. They have a special menu on Friday nights as well, so you should definitely go down to LaSalle Market. Which leads me to the next night.
Saturday night, we were back in Collinsville, and
has that happened in a long time?
Where not just one night in Collinsville, but 2 nights back to back in Collinsville. It's been
no hotels.
No hotels. Slept in my own bed. So broke down to all of that Friday night. I woke up in the morning. I went to Temple in the morning, and then pretty much left Temple, got dressed. We set up in Collinsville in the square, and on the slab, and we put on a show despite the rain. Everyone thought we were going to have to cancel. We were going to have to move inside. And thank you, by the way. Huge shout out to the Crown and Hammer and to Lisa for offering up the space. Had it been too cold or had it been raining too much.
and we really took a chance at the end. Dennis was on the show last week. Dennis, he called me up. He goes, "So what are you guys doing?" I was like, "We're setting up. We put a tent up. We're outside." He's like, "Really?" I was like, "Hey, you know what? We're going to make this happen." We have a big sound. That and the Crown and Hammer is a great place. And as I said, I saw one of my favorite bands a few weeks ago, Driving Iris, play over there. They know how to work that room really well. We're too loud for that. Like, it's just it would have been rough, and we got too much equipment. So I really love Lisa for giving us a shot there. But yeah, Dennis called me up and he said, "So you doing it?" I was like, "Man," because he's like, "It's raining here right now. I know it's raining here as well." He's like, "You think you're gonna be able to do this?" I said, "We have a good tarp. We put it up. We're gonna be fine." And someone was watching over us because the minute it was showtime, there was no more rain the rest of the night. It was cold, but for a cold night in May that had raining, there was a period there where 3 streets long, there were people everywhere.
Yeah.
So it was a huge success in that respect.
It absolutely was. It was no doubt.
Yeah, James was there. It was
Your
pretty
whole
terrific.
family was there.
Yeah.
I was shocked.
The whole mishpacha was there.
I was shocked. I didn't expect my mom and dad to be there.
Yeah, I was like, whoa, it's everyone.
Well, Saturday was actually their 33rd wedding anniversary, so I didn't think they were actually.
Everybody got married on Memorial Day weekend. Look at
It's
this.
crazy. By the way, happy anniversary to you and mom.
We
36.
36 years. Yes, that's pretty. Who would have thought? Probably Lisa did. She trusted me. Let's go. My mother-in-law, she's like, he's gonna get what he wants and he's gonna leave. And Lisa's like, no, he won't.
You know what's funny? On Saturday I think it was Jack's mom. She like went out to me. She's like, "Are you James?" I'm like, "Yeah, I know you from DIlem-Monday." I'm like, "This is the first time anyone's ever recognized me."
It's actually crazy.
People love this shit.
And then the other show that also was promoting the show was Peanut Butter and Jams. So Davey Schultz had Mike came on Peanut Butter and Jams that day, and there were a bunch of people from the Trinity radio station that came down to Collinsville that night as well. So we had the media going, and obviously playing at LaSalle the night before didn't hurt because we announced it to everybody there. No, it was just a really good time. I mean, what a great weekend. But it started getting tiring, and so Sunday we played a private party in Greenwich, and I got to tell you, some of the nicest people I've ever met in my life. They were so kind to us.
Yeah.
Super.
When you play private parties, a lot of times, and we play to some very wealthy people a lot of times. Look, we charge a good amount of money, so we're going to probably play to very big, large houses and wealthy people. And there's been times where, boy, I've wanted to walk away. Before I even set up, I'm like, you know what? This isn't gonna.
It's not worth it.
Right. But these people were so lovely and so wonderful to us. That, first of all, these guys were they were rowers and sailing guys. So they're big, tall, strong boys.
Right.
So they come over, they're like, "Do you guys need any help?" I thought they were going to lift a freaking Silverado and bring it over.
Really?
Dudes are big and strong.
It's like, can we hire them for every show?
Like, I want them to come to every show.
Yeah.
And the QSC speakers are terrific, but they're a lot heavier than the EV stuff. These boys are just boom, boom, boom. I'm like,
Oh, yeah.
Mike, who's got more muscles than everybody, was like, I love this. and then one of the guests is a pro audio guy. Plays for really big events and everything. His name was James as well. He's also a drummer. What is Michael Lanosa's greatest thing of all? Someone else setting up the drum kit. So James is like, "Yeah, man, this is what I do." And he's like setting up the drum kit for Mike. He's doing the board for us. Is there a better gig than this? So wait, we're at this magnificent home, lovely people.
Spit roasting this
Spit roast-
giant beast.
Oh my goodness, yes. And
you had Beast too.
It was a beast.
it was it's roasted. The
What was
great
it, what was
food.
the Dr. Seuss, the roasted beast?
I don't know.
Right? No, in the Grinch, right? Isn't that what they're having? The
I should know
roasted
more. I mean,
That
it's
sounds right,
Springfield, Mass, and all the Grinch, but no, they couldn't treat us nice. We had a great show.
beast? Are you calling
um,
yourself?
Our sound was spectacular. I mean, that was the first time a lot of the guys as a whole in the band had seen it. Yes. I am. You know, my parents thought so.
It keeps coming back. It keeps coming back.
That one has.
They waited 14 years for this.
That one, like, I've deleted most of the
disappointment.
other banners that I keep around. That one has made it to every episode we've done on StreamYard.
That quote's had more Cummings than the Messiah himself.
He hasn't even come back yet. Or shown up, depending on who you believe. It's-
Hey, no matter what, he was a Hebrew homeboy first, no matter what. So crack one out for the Hebrew homeboy.
but
JC,
in any
What's
case,
good?
we had a lot of fun this weekend. Steph was playing on that gig also, and no,
She timbered that ring.
I timbered that ring. I did.
well, you know,
That's
it's
what
not.
That's
It's nice having a female voice, though. You know, it does help. And no, it was a lot of work this weekend. Yeah, next weekend, I think. Well, we have another one's great thing. I think Corey has a private party in Farmington on Friday.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, solo act, piece of cake. Then I think he's doing a fundraiser Saturday, and then I know
They're
you're
playing some Cat Stevens songs at a wedding on
Sunday,
No,
right?
Pre-wedding. These people are getting married on a Monday.
Yeah,
Now, okay. are
and
you
not
ready?
like today Monday, which is a holiday
I
Monday.
have a theory. I have a theory here. I feel like they meant to book this weekend. They meant to book it for today. Like, oh my God, Memorial Day, it'll be perfect. And then one of them looked at the other. Oh no.
No, we wanted it this way.
Oh no. No, we'll do it the weekend after Memorial Day. It's
No
both.
one does that.
It's ambitious. I can't believe you, moron. You did this.
Well, it's a lot cheaper to get married on a Monday compared to obviously
Touche.
the weekend.
Touche. That's a.
part of it. Yeah.
Yeah,
I hope you're not going to sing "Oh Very Young." That's not a very
Oh,
good
there
wedding
you
song.
go.
so I you know, it's funny. So your parents' 33 years marriage on this weekend. Aiden, who was here today. So for those of you who don't know Aiden Moore, he's also a fantastic guitar player.
Hannahsfield, I think they have a new song out now.
Yes, Hannahsfield has a new song out, and Hannahsfield, he's the guitarist. But Aiden, who will be a guest on the show coming in the next few weeks, is a master craftsman, amazing builder, woodworking. He can do anything, and he truly is one of the most talented carpenters I've ever met. So he was here today, and we inserted these for the windows, these shades that fit exactly in here. They're called Guard. The company's called Guard, and it blackout. It's a blackout and sound out, so it kills the sound and blacks it out. It fits perfectly in there. This is revolutionary. I saw it on Facebook, and you know, I am that idiot who buys things on Facebook.
Somebody must be doing it.
Someone
Keep
does.
advertising.
Someone has to do it.
I'm saying this with a quick exit because I don't have my cowbell. You are the reason there are tariffs. Continue. Cowbell.
Well, I got to tell you, this. You know what? This is a phenomenal purchase. No,
well, I saw them in action, and I was like, "That's really neat.
You're not wrong.
That's very neat."
So Aiden was here. He built that, but for those who've been in the Sono Studios, the floors were done by Aiden. The stage was done by the sound room was done.
Wait, was he the guy that
Yes, he did. He did the
did the walking closet thing?
yes,
The cubbies.
the cubbies. Yes, the foyer, whatever we want to call that.
Foyer.
area.
Foyer closet walk thing.
Yeah, no, Aiden built that from scratch by himself. He also built, you know, where we keep all the cases inside the room where we have the like 100 cases.
Yeah.
Aiden built that. He built
He
this.
travel. I might have some more.
Aiden,
Does he live near you?
he lives in New Britain.
Not too far from you.
Yeah, just shoot right down 84, cut down Route 9 or 691. Boom. Yeah.
What I've seen that he's done.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Yeah, no,
He's
he
a busy boy, so you got to make sure you catch him when you can.
yeah,
Well.
right. No, he works on Aiden time. You know, No. He's a musician.
Okay.
So if you expect 7 o'clock in the morning, you're not going to.
I would prefer not that. So
Wait, I have to go back to our day at Utica at the Best Western. So hold on.
Oh
boy.
So not only was this room horrifically bad and this hotel not good, wouldn't you think the front desk, because they were nowhere near sold out. Let me point this out. This place was not sold out.
Surprised if it's still in
there
business.
must be nothing else open or
But
hotels in that area. That's
now here I am. I'm a Best Western, whatever their highest diamond award, whatever it is. I have the Best Western, credit card because again, we play a lot of gigs up in upstate New York, and Best Western really is the one choice you have in a lot of these areas. Because like when you're up in Burlington, Vermont, or anything like that, Corey, your life. You know what they say about a musician without a girlfriend? You know what a musician without me is in this house? Homeless. So I would very much watch it yourself. But
wait, so what you're telling me is
to you I am. To you I am. Anyway, that morning, and again, there are a lot of extra rooms. They put us next to the 2 rooms that are being renovated.
Oh.
And, if it had started at 9 o'clock, I probably would have been a little upset. They started at 7:45.
on a Saturday.
No, it wasn't a Saturday. It was a Thursday.
On a Thursday.
no day is okay for that.
Yeah, no day is okay.
No.
Checkout is 11, by the way.
Oh, jeez.
Breakfast was horrific too.
Oh,
But-
yeah.
You didn't want to step at a Denny's?
But we could have.
Extra cheese, huh?
Denny's was across the street too. We could have gone. They had a
almost
Denny's.
went to the
And we had
Denny's
eaten at
bus.
the
Shut up.
Wendy's on the way home. We ate at the Wendy's. It was
Wendy's
McDonald's.
split?
Have you tried the breakfast baconator? Side note.
No.
No.
Oh, it's
Damn it.
Oh, it's absolutely revolutionary. But you can only have it like once a year because it's like so.
Oh.
I trust you left a good review.
It's beautiful.
Only the best.
Beautiful.
So, in comparison to my 2 reviews in the Best Western the week before, and Corey, you did see this. We wrote this lovely thing about the Best Western the week before. We got a lovely message back from the manager saying what a pleasure it is every time we come there. The Dilemma Band stays here. She is so excited when she sees us. She wrote such a lovely letter personally back to us. On the contrary, I wrote my review of this Best Western.
Oh, no.
I have not heard yet back from the manager, but I'll tell you what, I want to hear back from that manager.
Because you wrote it.
I want my points back.
No, I understand the feeling was in my previous apartment in Jersey, they were building another building and they were doing construction noises at like 6 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, are you kidding me? And not to mention, they were working at LB Network until like 3 o'clock in the morning. So of course I'm sleep deprived, but then I hear that and I'm like, this is ridiculous.
Yeah, there's noise laws. And in fact, we told people from Greenwich, the last time, one of the times we played at Greenwich, the minute 10 o'clock hit, the cops came. And this was a big house. This place, the house we were at the other day was lovely on Sunday, and grounds were about as gorgeous as you're going to find. But the house that we played at the last time in Greenwich was probably a 8,000 square foot home. It was magnificent too. The cops came and shut it down. Like, you guys will not play another note. Well, okay then. The good news was we had a wedding in New Hope, Pennsylvania the next day to play at. So we were all happy. We were staying in Jersey that night, so we just got out of there.
I heard New Hope's very beautiful.
It was.
It's
Very
gorgeous.
rich. The Havana Theater.
Yes.
There, they book a lot of acts. I think it's a lot of tribute acts, but I heard that
That's
part of Pennsylvania is very
nonetheless.
nice.
It was beautiful, and actually, couldn't come to think of it, the people from that wedding, we had played for them originally during the pandemic for a private party in the Poconos that they had. They had a group of like 30 friends. They rented this really nice place in the Poconos. It had like 20 rooms, and we went up there, and we had a blast with those guys. And it was the heart of pandemic time. So as we know, the Dilemma Band played the entire pandemic. they gave us a wedding from that gig, which was the gig in New Hope, Pennsylvania. So one of the people from the wedding and from the other party called us the other day, and her parents are having a 60th birthday party, and we're playing their party July 12th. Another private party from that. So,
there's been a baby born from one of the couples that the wedding couple. They had a
wedding
baby,
couple.
like 2 years ago.
You know how cool it is?
It's like a human being now.
Yeah, no, I know, but remember we were playing.
I mean, you would hope.
You know, it was really cool though. We played in what was it, Brantford? What's the bike and beer where the not Two Roads.
Stony Creek.
Stony Creek. We were playing at Stony Creek for bikes and beers, and all of a sudden the one couple's like, Corey, they're like screaming out Corey's name. We had played their wedding at the Milford Yacht Club. You were at the Milford Yacht Club gig.
Yes, I
You were
was.
singing on that one. So those guys go, oh my God, we were so psyched. We saw you guys were here. And it's just kind of fun now where you see all these people and, even at like Stowe, the whole Avon crowd was there from Avon, Connecticut.
Yeah.
It was like 25 guys.
Really? Yeah, a bunch of lacrosse players.
The Crown and Hammer owner's son was there. Lisa, her son was
Wow.
and
It was wild.
yeah. So, this, if you do a good job, and this is anything, like Aiden, well, I will recommend Aiden for anybody. And he doesn't make you get up at 6 o'clock in the morning so he can start.
Far from it.
Yeah, no, he comes at 10. It's great. You can have
Perfect.
breakfast, everything. But he'll stay really late. So, he makes it up in the time. But Aiden does phenomenal work. But to the point though, with bands and everything else, do a good job. Guess what? You get a good rating. And they tell two friends who tell two friends and stuff like that. Everybody's always asking, how's the Lemon Band get all these bookings? Why are you guys playing in such, really high-end places? Well, because the Bash says that we're a 5-star rated band, then every rating we've ever got's been 5 stars. And they read that, and then they also tell two friends, like the Greenwich gig that we got, we have 2 more gigs that we're going to get from that meeting, from playing there. And all kidding and jesting aside, we read Cover Band Central all the time. And Steph on the social media side, she hears about all these bands. I can't get a gig. I can't get paid. I can't do this. I can't do, well, if you keep listening, I can't, what can you do?
Shit, little and nothing.
Yeah, take the positive. What are you doing wrong? Have you ever thought about what's not working? And like I see these cover bands. Well, we're a democratic democracy band. Like, there's no leader. There's no leader. There's no leader. I'm like, dude.
You just went full McLaughlin. Wrong.
Well, yeah, no, like you have to have some leader. Someone has to be. Yeah, and it's great that you guys can take votes and stuff and stuff like that. But there has to be someone who initiates, who is the managing partner or whatever it is. Because you know what, you have to have someone who can book the gigs. That is an art unto itself, and to not be scared to ask for X amount of money, and not to be scared to do the different stuff. And you have to have a leader on the band. There has to be a front person who directs what's going on. And there are other people who help and have the job, but like it doesn't work. And if you're complaining that you're not getting paid and you're not getting gigs and you're doing it one way, well, dude, guess what? It doesn't work. So I think that's something that we look, I'm gonna Dave Sheen always does some new stuff. Like, we talk a lot. You ask me questions, what should we do? He does great stuff. He gets on there all the time on Facebook. His it's about 30 seconds, 2 minutes. What
now? I try to keep it under a minute. Sometimes if I need a little longer to make the point, I will. But obviously these days with those things, shorter is better. But I try to average 30 seconds or even less if I can, just to get the idea of this is the kind of stuff I talk about. But what you're talking about, I see the same thing with comedians. They're bashing people online and then wondering why nobody's hiring them. And then they show up late. They don't do very well. They get mad at the audience when the audience isn't laughing at them, and then wonder why they're not. Yeah. So it's an all-purpose thing in like entertainment.
So hire Dave Sheehan.
Well,
Hire
depends
Dave
on what
Sheehan.
you want. Like, I'm not right for every gig, but it's like also know what you're getting.
Well, it's just another thing. Don't be a dick.
You would not believe how that goes. It's like he was saying. That's so much a part of it. Go there, be pleasant. You don't have to be the most social person.
Congeniality, winner.
Exactly.
Don't act like you own the place. I see people walk in.
Oh my
it's
God.
Like they act like entitled. Like, what do you really? You think this is what's
God on earth.
I'm
I have 7 female wives. Go to my Instagram.
He wasn't even. Well, he was bragging, but he wasn't like performing. Only because somebody stuck a camera in his face so he could say that. And that's probably not the only person he said that to.
Are we all familiar with this video?
No,
what videos?
I wouldn't mess with this. What you got going on right now?
I was about to say there's a good flow right now.
Yeah,
we don't want to destroy it with something that probably has nothing to do.
Probably not.
I do have one question. It's not right exactly on topic with this, but it's something I don't think in all the years I've known you guys, I don't think I know the answer to this. And I'm sure there's a story, and I hope it's less than 15 minutes. But
30, less than 30.
All right, your clock doesn't work. So you got to add 15 minutes.
Don't go by the start time. Go by the overall computer time.
Well, I think the smart thing to do would be go by the computer that's running everything.
Yeah, we can't see that.
The question is,
all right, can we have the question?
What's the question? Yeah.
what is the origin of the name Dilemma for the band?
So the origin of the name of the band. So my high school band had broken up for the final time. We were done. And I was out of high school by this point, but we had, kind of gone through it. We were done for the final time, and I had a bunch of gigs lined up, including one at shout out to the First Church of Winstead. They used to do a steam event coffee house thing. They'd have bands, acoustic acts. It was a cool time. It was a really fun time. And I was scheduled to play this event, and I had no band. Now, I was like, I don't know what I'm going to do. Maybe I'll just show up and play solo. Maybe I'll show up with band. I don't know. So they're like, well, what do you want us to put down as the name on there? I'm like, I don't know. Corey Reeman's Blues Dilemma. Because, it seems like, because it was also the era of, the 1 or 2 person bands that used the band title. And I was like, that also could sound like a little bit of, almost like a psychedelic band if it needed to be. It could be a blues project, a blues band. And I know you're gonna hate it. It kind of Pink Floyd, it's sort of what's.
No, but there's a Kevin Bacon and Peter Pino thing here with Dave. The Dilemma, the original 2 people with you on the Dilemma were Keith Burwood and Cole Patano.
Yes.
The band had just began the Dilemma, as it were. And we got on the Peter Pino show. So that is how we met Peter.
But yeah, so.
And that was so freaking funny.
It was, but yeah, so I don't know what I'm going to do at that show. And my buddy Keith, who I believe is watching, we've always played guitar with each other and whatnot. So he's playing guitar. We're on. His brother played bass. Sick. Our buddy John, who at this point I had never met until the day we had put this together, he's a drummer. And Keith's like, he's a great drummer. Get him over here. I love John.
John's a great kid, but a great drummer.
And so we call him, and he's like, I absolutely will play this. So Keith, Connor, and I come off from hiking earlier in the day. We rehearse for about an hour, get about an hour and a half's worth of material down, and
don't worry, they played Down by the River. It took the whole 30-minute set. Corey's solo was about 15 minutes long.
But yeah, we played the show. It was a great time, and it was a good show. And I was like, this Dilemma name, I enjoy this. This is kind of cool. I'm like, there's something about that. So I was like, I cut the whole blues thing, and I was like, the Dilemma band.
And actually, we had some cool bookings through that, right afterwards. We played outside the casino that was being built in Springfield.
Yes.
Right in the square there. We opened for Nelson. Remember Nelson, big 80s band, and their father was Ricky Nelson. That was his twin sons. It was a giant gig. My dad was there. I'll never forget. My dad came to that gig, and it you know what? They weren't the best band. I'm not gonna lie.
The career didn't go for too long.
No, I'm not talking I'm talking the Dilemma.
Well, they were
That
doing-
version of the Dilemma was
They do, yeah.
but it was the most eclectic group of people that you've ever seen. So we have like 50-year-old Peter Falk dressed like an accountant playing bass. We had Keith and Connor, so we had the Burwood Boys. I think Logan jumped in on that gig. I have no idea. And they were in shorts.
That's a mistake I used to make too before someone told me on.
Yeah.
Who knew? I'd not be comfortable.
Right. Why
Who the hell
not?
wants to look
It's
at my
hot
knees
out,
every
whatever.
night? Yeah, exactly.
But I'll never forget though, Corey's last song of the set was Unchained Melody. And no matter whatever, it was actually, they actually played pretty well. The set went super well, but he played Unchained. And the entire place erupted after that. It was, and his grandfather, Dad, may he rest in peace, a veteran, I might add, World War II veteran. You never saw a more proud grandpa in your life when Corey walked off the stage on that one. At his grandpa's funeral, Corey sang the song for his grandpa.
Oh.
Yeah, so that was a big one, the Unchained. And if you go to a solo show every once in a while, Corey pulls out Unchained for you.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
It's a gorgeous song. It's one of the best songs in the world I ever written. And you do a really good job on that. But yeah, that was the transformation of the Dilemma. And yes, the names have changed. And go ahead. I'm sorry.
No. There's always a lot of like multi
Layers
to the story. So they're very interesting. So that was definitely under 15 minutes. I think her computer clock's going backwards now.
Yeah, it is.
Benjamin Button.
Well, I was going to say one other thing with that. So
Is Benjamin Button?
no, at Sunday's party, one of the ladies I was talking to, and like I said, everybody there was just so nice and asking so many wonderful questions and things. She said, "So, how do you get a band like this that's this good?" She's like, she goes to a lot of things, this, that, and the other thing. I said, it takes a long time, and you got to start making a lot of money, because what happens is your friends who you used to play with, you have to say goodbye to, because that's not what their love is, and that's not what their profession is. And you get to the point where you can't also be scared to play with the best players, and I'll give Corey a lot of credit. He's never been scared to play with guys who are better than him.
I would prefer playing with guys.
Yeah, that's how you get better.
Yeah, because that's one I never understood. Like, I want to be the worst guy in the room.
Yeah.
Like, I want to be, because you know what? I know if I'm the worst guy in the room, I can do whatever I want.
I mean,
That's like the quote that's like, if you're the smartest person in the room, you're in the wrong room.
wrong room.
Oh,
It's just so you're always growing. And
Well,
learning.
no. God
That's
bless.
how you grow.
Corey was never scared to go on any of those stages and play with who he plays with. And I told her, I said, look, the guys in the band right now, like the guys that she saw, will start off. Brother Dave's one of the best guitar players in the world. Dave, he's, and he practices. And I said, Corey felt bad originally when we started playing with Brother Dave a lot. He's like, how is someone that good? How could, this is just inhuman.
He practices,
Yeah.
and I'm not exaggerating, 12 hours a day.
Yeah, no, it's inhuman. But that's how Corey felt better about life. He's like, one night I decided I was going to try and stay up and practice with Dave. Corey made it till about 2:00 in the morning.
I'm like, I'm done.
done.
I'm done. I can't do this.
And he's like, I'm not willing to be that good.
I go work on my social media stuff until 2, 3 in the morning, but after that, I lights out.
Yeah, no, it's so, but that's so if you get guys like him, Dave Schultz practices beyond practices. He learns every single note to the song on a cover song. And if you ask
and he's
him,
a guy too. He's one of the few guys who literally, if he looks at tabs, it'll just get ingrained in his head.
well, Schultz is a
in the
genius.
brain.
First of all, he won't admit to what his IQ is, but it's probably off the charts. Schultz is a genius.
Brain to the brain.
Yeah, and Jack. Anybody that's ever played with Jack Taka, Jack's the best musician.
Thank you.
Taka.
Taco.
Well, that's his stage name anyway. so
Jack Taco.
Oh,
Jack
Taco.
Taco.
so
Taco.
Oh,
the same taco.
I say the other one kind of sounds like
The
a
same
porn name.
as,
But-
as taco.
but as good as
Ah.
he's not gonna
Oh,
let me
it's
talk.
just like, continue.
As
Sorry.
good as everybody else is, Jack's the best musician on the floor always. Jack can play the drums as well as everybody. He's the best bass player. Jack's a great guitar player. He reads tab. He writes music. He's a genius out there,
And now he sings.
and he sings. And let me say something. Alicia Riemann, who is the most critical woman in the world. You know, my daughter, who is watching, when she, you know, she's very sweet and won't say anything publicly.
But she's a
When it comes to like someone's voice,
Yeah.
but Alicia, when she heard Jack
Love you.
sing, she's like, Jack has a really good voice. You know, she says that maybe about Cody, Corey, and Jack. You know, she doesn't say that about too many people. And Alicia loves Jack's voice. So yeah, you know, and then you have Michael, you know, Michael's fun and everything else, but Michael's, you know,
Michael runs the stage.
yeah, man. It's like he sticks to the beat. I mean, he's Ringo Starr. You know, he doesn't do the most flashy crap in the world.
He
or
doesn't
anything.
want, because it's not to say he couldn't. That is the thing. Michael Lanosa is the one guy who could do more, but refuses to because he's like, that's not the objective. Because there's a song that we like. I like having him solo. And he's like, no, the objective of the song is to get through the song.
And play it right.
So
and
you
know what
want
else?
you want me to have a couple bars? Fine, I'll do it to oblige you. But I'm doing this because that's what you said, not for any other reason. I'd prefer it not be there because the objective of the song is to play the song and not my own self-indulgence. And that speaks to his.
No, Michael and
He's
Michael
brilliant.
always says
He's truly brilliant.
he's there. He's like, Corey Riemann, it's the Corey Riemann band. My job is to make Corey better. My job is to make the band better. And God bless Michael. He's all on it. Like that's his gig, man. So and we're fortunate to have guys like Ryan Newman play with us. You know, Davey Blues, Jimmy Gannigan, you know, trying to think, who am I missing? Cal. Oh my God, Cal's a phenomenal drummer. Like we are so lucky to have all the people that we have that play with us.
Truly.
But that's how you get to have that, by taking the risk and getting gigs that are worthy of these guys. And to be honest, even if you don't get paid, you pay them. That's the other part. You know, these guys with Democratic. No, dude, you need a management team. You need to have this
You
stuff.
need a war chest.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, we had one guy told me you should have $10,000 in the bank all the time if you have a band, because you never know what you might have to do. And he's right. So anyway, I know we went overtime and
No, it's only 9 o'clock.
It's 9
He still thinks it started at 7:30.
yeah, well, it still says 8:46 here. So
This is,
Even though this clock is not.
I know.
This is like a game show clock.
right. Well, it's like the soccer, you know, they keep
Counting up.
you can't
Even though this is not syndicated on the radio, it is now 9 o'clock. There are no call letters because there's no radio station. You're listening to DIlem-Monday.
And with that being said, we need to tell where people are going to be.
no, again, we know we have 30 minutes still.
Wow.
Oh, we're playing at 9:30.
We always do.
Oh, we do.
Are you
7:30.
okay?
It's
Like-
8 to 9:30.
No, it's
This
9
hol-
o'clock.
this
It's
holiday
9 o'clock
thing-
now.
This holiday thing is throwing you off.
His mind is still at the Best
This again,
Western.
and by the way, for context, everybody. See, so
9 o'clock. Yes.
So get him the peanut butter beer.
yeah. Do you want a shot of the peanut butter whiskey?
No.
It's
No.
good. It's
It's
good.
pretty good. It's like
No.
Contemplating.
I'll
No.
take another shot, dude.
I'll do another shot.
I'll take another shot. Right now. Is that-
But if you want to give me a nice glass, here, take this glass and get me some cold water again. I'll take that.
Just think of it this way: pretend it's a radio,
Mm.
and just think it's like, oh, it's time for the weather, time for the
Which
traffic,
one's
all
you?
that other stuff.
This is me. I'm definitive. Oh my God. Definitive is one of the great. The last time we played at Definitive, do you guys,
Is that a venue?
it's a brewery and venue per se in Portland, Maine. And it used to be on the Bike and Beer Tour. I don't think they go there anymore. And the last time we were there, we had to play in Danbury later that night.
Oh my
no.
gosh.
So and it started at 8:00, and it was the San Gennaro feast.
So we had to
Wow.
rush.
So we have never gotten
Badass,
done
yeah.
faster and quicker
Hmm.
than that gig. It was literally,
Was that like a 6-hour ride?
it was 5+, and it's 5+ with God watching over you.
To God one.
Oh God.
Because we've done that the other way, taking 10 hours,
Oh.
you know, because the beach traffic and what have you. And it's September, and we played definitive, and that gig was a disaster too because their electricity kept going out.
Yeah.
They were running like the cords 100 feet.
That did, by the way, did
Deep.
you see who's watching?
Hey, what's going on, Jeff? That's right. We want to have you on, and we need to play a damn gig in the Cape for Jeff. All right, like we absolutely need to play.
Sorry to interrupt.
Yeah, no, I was just talking. So everything's going wrong on this gig. It's completely crazy. And we tell the guys, you know, Matt and Sam who run the bike and beer tour, like, we really got to get out of here earlier than usual today. And meanwhile, though, everything's going wrong because the electricity keeps going out.
Oh,
Like,
shit.
the food that we were supposed to have delivered shows up late. Like
Oh
nothing is going right. So we get done, and we get done about 2:00. We have never packed faster. We were out of there at 2:25. We were packed and ready to go. Like we're just as we're going along, we were just doing everything we can do. And I am speeding. I've never you know what? I didn't care if there was a car in front of me. I was going to run the car over. We are getting to the sun time. Now we get there, and you would have thought we were the effing Beatles. As we walk in, both mayors, the former mayor, the current mayor, we have the green room area for us. Like, we are getting treated like, you know, we're the Beatles today. Now, we did have to wait for someone who came late, as we know, with about 10 minutes before we have to go. His name will be nameless on this one, but Steph knows who I'm talking about, as per usual.
I kind of caught up with the glare.
Yeah, who it was, who shows up with, hey guys, sorry, I'll set up really quick.
That was like Sunday.
Right. Or what was the college gig that we played? We played up in Springfield. You were the gig, the one where we played up in Springfield early in September.
In September. Last year?
No, this past September. It's the only gig he played on with us that gig this year.
Oh, that Cody was at.
Yes, Cody was there.
Oh, yes.
He showed up about 5 minutes before he had to go. But yeah, so I'm like, there's 9,000 people here. We're playing at the bandstand. There's some very, very important people at this gig.
Hey guys, what's up?
Hey guys, just
Mosey on over. Did you bring my
Michael and I are ready to perform acts of ending lifeness.
so Jack's always chill on these things.
Whatever.
You know, because Jack could, like, if you started 5 minutes late, Jack's not gonna have a conniption.
Yeah.
No one would want Mike. I'm the only one who's
He
like,
also needs to know that someone needs to be there to calm you down.
Yeah.
And the problem is, it's usually Michael and Jack and I are the ones freaking out. On this one, Michael and I are freaking out.
well, because there's thousands of people.
Oh yeah,
Thousands of people. There's not hundreds. There are thousands on this gig.
yeah, no.
This is a big gig. San Gennaro feast. This is huge. But yeah, and we get it going on, and what a great set. It was phenomenal. Like, every once in a while, you get those rock star, you know, moments. And
Festeggiamo a festa di San Gennaro. Festeggiamo. We celebrate.
How was the food there?
it's San Gennaro feast. I mean,
Do your thing.
Okay,
we got the
good.
best Zeppelis in the history of the world. I mean, come on.
Incredible.
It was
That's all I need to know.
it was a fantastic time. One of the best gigs.
I played a round of bocce earlier
You did play around the.
today.
When you went to keep.
We after the parade, we went down to the club. We rolled some balls around. Good time.
I don't want to hear you rolling balls.
Listen, it was a great time. We grabbed the balls, we threw them around. It was awesome.
How is your team? What is your record?
You know what? Listen, Keith and I played a killer game last night.
How'd we do?
We won 2 of the 3 matches, which was good.
Okay. What's the overall team record?
We're not doing great. We're not doing as bad as historically, apparently, the team has done in the past.
So bringing you on as a free agent has actually helped this club.
Listen, man number 5. What can I say?
You're the 5th man.
5th man, baby.
Are we still doing bocce ball puns? I lost track.
Yes, more or less. This team, you brought in Corey Riemann for an athletic event.
Bring on the Chinese checkers. Like I'd be any better.
It's okay, Corey. People say the same thing about me. They have to add me onto an athletic event. Like,
Wait, I played softball once because they'd have had a forfeit otherwise.
That's how I ended up the coach of the T-Birds. We'll have to do a T-Bird episode soon where you guys get to like find out why I spend the time I do with the birds that I do.
I just thought
for
it was
the
'cause you're,
alcohol.
like,
Listen, the beer does not.
By the way, Bill was watching for a while. Thank you, Bill, for tuning in and being on this.
But yeah, no, we'll do the T-Bird episode. Who knows? Depending on what everyone's doing next week, maybe. We'll get.
I
Aren't
believe
you at a
this
wedding?
is free because I'm always free for full.
What?
Didn't you say you're performing at a wedding next Monday?
Sunday.
They wanted to make it Monday, right?
No,
No,
the
the
wedding
wedding's actually
itself.
Monday. We're doing the
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I misunderstood. Okay.
pre-dinner Sunday.
Yeah,
But yeah, no.
but yeah, they would have had to have forfeited had they not had enough guys, and the rules say enough people on the bench. Now, at first,
He's talking about the hockey now, not
bocce.
bocce.
Not bocce.
That's-
Or
I wanna
the,
keep
or the
going.
wedding. It
Or the wedding.
It could be polygamy. I don't know.
which is another story. Do you guys all know that Corey is an ordained minister, right?
I
Yes.
think I did know that.
Yeah,
I'm sure
Yes.
there's plenty
I'm
of
a
like
man of
talent.
God.
We keep learning about all these talents and things. Like, so when I found out you coach a sports team, it's like, oh, that's just another thing Corey does that I didn't know he had. So I'm sure I still have yet to learn about others. They'll come up in time.
I think I'm still yet to learn about other things.
That's a good thing.
Do you know what he does to fill in every morning?
I do. I'm a
Does
nice,
what?
good Jew. I do my Jewish BDSM. I wrap myself in the leather boxes.
As a non-Jew,
What?
I need insight. What are you
Yeah,
talking
he
about?
gets
You
blessed
might
by
need to
Hashem
you
every
might need
morning.
to
He's,
explain that a little
By
bit.
what?
God.
Let's look at. I'll get an image not just for us, but for the.
We never did make it to the 7 female wives, but this is more.
So that is
Oh.
What are we looking at?
Interesting.
So I'll
every morning. Corey does
So this is
his.
how you do this. So you have to download the picture.
You got to go 7 times around, wrap it around. I'm dreadful at it.
This is for
It's
religious practice.
yes. It's if very religious Jews do fill in every single morning. It's a way of meditation and
Yeah.
what have you.
And then,
If you are ever in a shopping center and you see a bunch of Hasidic men and they think that you're Jewish, they will ask you if you will wrap tefillin with them.
And what is? It's,
oh, you put it on-
There's prayers in the boxes.
I don't.
for our viewers. I'm just working
The
this
wrap
through.
is that paper that they wrap around?
No, it's a
It's
leather
just leather.
strap that
Oh,
you're
leather,
putting
okay.
around, but there's in the
What-
boxes.
what is-
So there's a box on your arm.
Okay.
There's a box on your
Oh,
head,
I almost can't see it next to the guy's
and you
hair.
wrap it all the way down. Yeah.
And you have to keep the paper that's inside it is
Preserve.
preserved. Like you have to get new ones from Israel and blast on.
And you recite prayers while you do this?
Yes, it's very quick.
You can do it very quick. You
Uh,
take, if you want to make it a whole hour experience, again, you want to make it a 90.
But it's usually like a 2.5 minute
Yeah.
deal. But
Their whole thing that they get the yeshiva boys to be able to learn to do it in 90 seconds. Get the guy done in 90 seconds. That's
I was
that's-
Mendel's first.
I would no, that's a lie. You were the first one on photograph. I was the first one.
we can argue that all day. Mendel gives me full credit.
Let-
But anyway, so yes, there are many talents. But so not only a reverend, but he's also
What a good Jewish boy.
a very good practicing
The
Jewish
Reverend Corey Reaman, the ordained Jewish minister.
Hey,
Universal Life Church.
my belief is I'll go with anybody. You know, if I can get good from here and good from there, I'll take all the good. I just don't want any of the bad.
Yes, yeah. I didn't know if I was allowed to bring that up.
You
on the
can.
show. That was one of the cool things on Saturday. I got asked to be a groomsman at a particular wedding. That was pretty cool.
That'd be my wedding.
Hell fucking yes.
What a beautiful way. I mean, James has class. Like he did it so no, really. Like he did it with he had this really wonderful letter that he gave to Corey, and it was super touching, and a lot of it really from the show is part of everything that
Well, I feel like with
That was
not only with
awesome.
this show, I feel like because we've been so closer. Even though the
Yeah.
fact that you knew my sister
I
a lot longer than me.
Yeah, no, it's true. No, it's definitely true. And no, but this has been great. Like, I love the fact that, again, there was enough demand for DIlem-Monday to bring DIlem-Monday back.
right. I mean
The fact
that.
that we're doing this now,
Oh, yeah,
like,
of
that's
course.
great. This is
Well, how much fun? Like obviously during the pandemic, we came up with the idea because Dave, you know what, we were entertainment companies, entertainers who had a portion, at least at the very beginning, the first 2 months, there was no place to go.
Right.
So if you didn't do something online, you were forgotten. And people always ask, like I tell people the greatest thing that ever happened was the pandemic for the Dilemma Band. And they're like, what are you talking about? Who says something like that? I said, well, between DIlem-Monday and then because we were the only group playing and we found a niche, we found these private parties where we played in Greenwich, we played in the Hamptons, we played in the Poconos, we played these very large mansion groups. We started getting booked, and we were the only band being booked on the Bash. So it was easy being the number one band in the country because we were the only one willing to
The
play.
story behind the metrics.
So, but here's the news: we were still getting we got 5-star reviews. And the first year probably wasn't as hard as many other years. But guess what? Then 2021, 2022, 2023, and 2024, when everybody
I ran, and I just
Okay,
kept
Forrest.
running. Which,
I
by the way,
understood what he was
which,
saying.
by the way,
I understood.
that scene in the movie is not in the book. That was so. Forrest Gump was based on a book.
Okay.
There was a book, and yeah.
Probably the slowest read.
But the Forrest running part, that was entirely made for the movie. That was not in the book. It did not appear in the book. It is now. I watched the whole thing. I guess it was like the 30-something anniversary.
But let me make a point on that though.
Yeah.
That's the worst part of the movie, the running
It
part.
did go longer than it needed to.
Yeah.
I just-
Yeah.
Like I don't think it should have
It's
been
also
there.
part of why the budget of the film went so over budget because they filmed on location.
Yeah, and it was still neat
stunts.
because it was kind of stupid at that point. So everything that happened in the entire world for a period of X amount of years, if it wasn't for Forrest Gump, we wouldn't even have the goddamn smiley face.
Oh, that's did you know it was supposed to be John Travolta who played Forrest?
There was a whole.
There was a number of people. Yeah,
it was supposed to be like Travolta was the one that stood out to me. I'm like, oh wow, that would have been interesting.
Do you know who one of the options for Bubba was?
Tom Hanks.
Dave Chappelle.
No.
Dave
That's
Chappelle.
pretty much unknown.
Dave
so-
Chappelle was up, and then what was the movie that he did
There's
later
no
on?
way he would have gotten picked
What
for
was
that.
it?
Half-baked.
Yes. So the movie that he did eventually with Tom Hanks.
Oh no.
There
Tom
was-
Hanks wasn't
no,
happy. I'm not
there
sure
was
what
a
you're referring to.
Tom Hanks helped him get a role afterwards because he found out he was one of the people under
Oh.
consideration. He's like, hey,
I
listen, let me.
I don't even want to talk. I hate Chappelle. So let's like I don't even want to mention it on the show. I despise that guy. So
Well, you've now spent more time talking about him
Good.
than I was.
he's about as popular to me as Pink Floyd.
Okay.
So
We all know
Yeah.
about being the
Floyd.
number one on the Bash for several years.
Yeah, sis.
Spun off.
let's go back to
2021, 2,
Two-
3, 4.
yeah. So for a 5-year period, the DIlem Band became the number one cover band in the country for 5 years. but it was because of
Yeah.
the
Doing something.
we finding that niche, changing. Corey always makes fun because I used that Who Moved the Cheese, the Spencer Johnson book
Yeah, I've heard
that came out.
about resumes.
It's a business book.
Yeah.
And Spencer Johnson wrote a book about it. The title's called Who Moved the Cheese. And what it was, cheese is everything. Cheese is money, cheese is anything that you want to think about. But cheese was always there. Things, as long as you did the things the way you did it, it was there. But all of a sudden cheese started not being there anymore. The cheese was moved. And there were a number of people who said, don't worry, the cheese will come back. Everything will be fine. Just sit back. Life will come back. Well, the part was that the mice started finding it. They're like, hey, wait a minute, there's no cheese here. We're gonna start going there. And then later on, what happened was there were some people who decided to also try and
I never knew that.
find cheese.
No,
And they came back to their people and
First of
said,
all,
hey, you know what?
the fact that
Look, guys,
cheese
there is some other
also
cheese out there, but you guys are gonna have to change. And that was really the method of the madness of.
It's the barbecue.
Is he the most clueless individual? Like we're having a show. Are you enjoying your half of the show?
Are you enjoying yours?
Well, people are actually listening to mine.
So
But-
is it more like kind of like you snooze, you lose?
Yeah.
A little bit. Yeah.
Well, I think for every tragedy, there's an opportunity. When things change, like when someone loses their job, you know, why did I lose it? Is there something else that I need to do? What do I need to do differently? Like, I truly believe that there, as long as you wake up in the morning, there's a chance for greatness, and there's always a chance to change, and think about it. If you lose at something, you need to find out why. Why did I do this wrong? And sometimes you can give the best effort, and as long as you did the best that you could, and you put out the effort that you were supposed to put out, you have nothing to be ashamed of. It's still not okay to lose. But you have to
You
figure
have to
out.
lose on your way to figuring all this stuff out.
Yeah, no.
Do it the right way.
And you know what? You're not going to get every gig. And look, a lot of these bids, there are some gigs that I was like, Corey, this is ours. You know what? Sometimes you don't win it. And I'm shocked, but then I have to look. Okay, what should we have said? What didn't we see here, and why they wouldn't have picked us? And Corey will tell you every single morning. I make him come down here, and we go through every single one of these every single day. Okay, this one over here. What do you think about it? It's about a 2-hour journey. We can make X amount of money on this deal.
And we go through all these. The date, okay, we can make, we have a thing earlier the next day. Is this worth it? You know what? No, this one doesn't seem worth it. But you know what? This one would be cool. We have it open. We have the timing. It would be 7 hours between the two. We can make that happen. We can make that work. And it's fun. There is a little bit of a game to that. There is something that is a little entertaining.
And then you do have to figure out, what hotel can we stay at? Does this make sense to stay overnight? Should we get a hotel? Should we go down the day earlier? What time can everybody leave that day? And Corey and I, and I've told, again, some people have asked, we take every gig. As long as Corey's available, we book the gig. I don't call the rest of the guys in the band. If he's available, we're booking it.
We're making that.
Right. I need to tell Jack ahead of time, and Jack has only missed 2 gigs in the last almost 4 years.
Thanks to Hanson.
Right. Hanson is Jack's
Hanson is the one thing that comes before the dilemma.
Right. That is his kryptonite. The group,
Yeah.
Like
the boys.
People, the boys. We refer to them as the boys.
What do you mean? He's a fan of theirs?
No,
Oh,
but Tara
no.
is.
His girlfriend Tara is a fan of Hanson.
Are they still touring? I thought they were business people now.
They're really like I've actually gotten to see them twice, by the way, at Epcot 2 days in a row.
Well, they started
They're
when
the
they were like
dilemma
younger
band.
than you.
Well,
So.
yeah, no, they were like baby. They were like little children.
Well, that's.
But like they're really talented. I've seen like they're also all 3 of them are really good music. Like they're playing. Like they were a bit like I know they get all this like, oh, they're heartthrobs because like all the young girls love. No, they were like really talented.
But you've seen them at Epcot.
Well, yeah, no, and you know what? Like they put on a real show. It wasn't a fake show.
And Daughtry.
I did see Daughtry with you at Epcot.
That is correct.
I have seen some decent shows. Like, okay, what the Epcot shows are really good at, like shows I would have never have paid otherwise to have seen, I go see, and then know what? If I am free to go see, I know Hanson's playing at the outdoor stage coming up at Mohegan. Know what? If I'm free that night,
Well, I bet Tara would take you. If you asked Tara,
I would consider they were good. So that's the good. Know what we haven't brought up yet?
what?
The passing of George Wendt.
Oh,
Like we're talking about
Everybody knew his name.
every yeah, like
They did.
Sorry, I had to I'm
Oh,
sorry.
but the Cheers will go. It still goes down as one of my favorite series of all time.
And you weren't even alive for it.
No, but doesn't that speak to it?
I didn't start watching it till like after the finale because I was a kid when it was on. It wouldn't
Well,
have made
yeah,
sense to me.
I was
but
going to say,
I still
doesn't that
loved it.
actually speak to the value of Cheers? The fact that people.
Hey, I watched it every Thursday.
Well,
so-
yeah, you watched it every Thursday, and then
Didn't
I
have the
watched it on Netflix because, like, no,
I
what?
did too.
I wanted to see it. I was like, wait, I keep hearing about Cheers, and then I turned it on. Episode 1, I'm like,
It's actually one of those, there's been very few shows where the not spin-off, but when one of the main characters actually dies. And
it wasn't bad.
they were able to really not even, they made it possibly even better than it was.
Oh, with,
Adding Woody
Woody,
for
yeah,
Coach.
yeah.
Coach.
Yeah.
Phenomenal.
Yeah, because Coach was great. Like, it was a
Yeah.
Oh,
great
yeah, I
part of the
love
show.
Yep.
And then when Christy Alley comes in and replaces Shelley Long,
Yeah.
I mean, those are two giant replacements.
But especially because it was an ensemble show. There is
Right.
no star of Cheers.
Well, I mean, Sam Malone. Sam's a
Well,
star.
but it's
Not
still,
kind of Sam's a
no,
star.
but it is an ensemble cat. That was
Yeah.
that was the thing. It was not. It's not Sam. It really wasn't written.
And
like,
then-
it's Sam's bar, and here are all the minor characters. It wasn't Seinfeld.
Didn't Frasier actually have more years?
Yeah.
Same number of seasons.
Was it the same?
Frasier
I
had
mean,
same number of seasons, and a lot of people can argue that Frasier can actually be better than Cheers.
I
They had the
wouldn't be
time
one
to
of
make
those people. I'm definitely more Cheers, but I'm not gonna lie. I watched Frasier too.
Yeah.
Frasier
As
was great.
annoying
Frasier's
as I
great.
found it, I watched Frasier every week. I wanted to hit Niles, but I did.
I love Niles.
terrible.
He was amazing. He
Uh-huh.
was even supposed to be like even casted on it. He was like, audition, he was amazing.
Their pumpacity was just
Yeah.
Right.
Oh yeah.
But what made the show funny was when they got that was just talked down.
He's-
Right, right,
It was
right,
just
right.
like,
He's
there they go
currently
again.
doing a He's currently doing
A man.
adaptation of
He was doing that thing.
Yes.
No, he's doing the Gilbert and Sullivan.
He does a lot
Well,
of Broadway, I believe.
He's
Shocking.
He's doing a New Orleans themed thing of Pirates of Penzance. Right
Oh
now.
my God. The worst show I have ever seen on Broadway. Pirates of Penzance. Maris, if you're listening, please, that was the worst show we went to see. Oh my God, that sucked. I've told you guys that my mother used to take me to Broadway shows every Wednesday during the summer when I was a kid. Yeah, I had a real hard lifetime. I know.
Between that and the Playboy
The Playboy
sure.
Club.
Right. I know.
Mama Leone's, tea at the plaza. It was. Hey, sorry.
And at the time it was perfect.
But anyway, so Maris is a good friend of mine. We call each other cousins. The Gilbert and Sullivan thing, I don't get it. It's not fun. It was a horrible show.
It would have been better if it was Pinafore because he is an Englishman.
Okay.
All my West Wing fans out there.
Anyway, the star, the version I saw was a guy named Robbie Benson. Robbie Benson was like this heartthrob guy, but he starred.
Short-lived, like in the 70s.
Yeah, he
an
was
actor.
he was an actor.
Yeah.
But
I
he
can't remember that.
did a basketball movie called One on One, and I knew him from the basketball. I was like, oh, Robbie Benson, the guy who played in the basketball movies, and it like, how bad can this show be? Oh dear God, it sucked. It was so bad. Ugh, Gilbert and Sullivan. Ugh, no, sorry, Pirates of Penzance. Can go with Pink Floyd and Dave Chappelle.
Your reverse Rushmore.
That's my reverse
Your
Rush life.
Wait, by the way, real quick, just to because I know we already had it previously, but real quick because we did find it from the Wikipedia page of the people who had auditioned for like Lieutenant Dan, like Kevin Bacon, talk about 6 Degrees and Kevin Bacon. Joe Pesci. Wait, really? What?
For which role?
For Lieutenant Dan.
Do you think this is funny? Funny like how? Like a clown?
And then also, as we said, David Allen Greer, Ice Cube, and Dave Chappelle. Also, Tupac. Do you know the other role that Tupac reportedly was like in contention for?
Living Another Day.
Mace Windu.
Who?
Oh.
Mace Windu in Star Wars. So when A Phantom Menace was coming out, they prepared the movie years prior, like in the early 90s, and Tupac was still alive. And there was talk before Samuel L. Jackson got the role that Tupac Shakur was going to play that role.
When you said Samuel L. Jackson, then I know who this character is.
Yeah.
By naming the Star Wars name of the character on some of these, like, so
He wasn't around for the holidays.
yeah, right. Oh my
He
God.
wasn't around for that.
Shaw, oh my God, but Shaw with the holiday special, that was so
Listen,
bad. Oh.
I'm glad you all had to sit through the holiday special.
I did it as research for this program.
Well,
Oh, dear
Because I've
Lord.
never seen it before.
Of course.
Yeah,
I
no.
never saw the holiday special.
Oh,
I don't want
Can we do a
to.
live stream
no.
of,
If you want to waste a
reacting
period of
to
your
it?
life that you're never going to get back,
Listen,
and watch it with Shaw, so
I
it's
was
going to be
gonna-
more
but-
enjoyable.
yeah. This holiday special has everything. Terrible 70s haircuts. B. Arthur doing a song and dance number.
Do you know who
The
B. Arthur
Jefferson
is?
Starship.
Inexplicable
Actually-
segues.
Oh my God, yes.
Oh,
That could have been the title of the
What-
Yeah.
what's his face? Oh my God, from Bewitched. The uncle. Oh my God.
Oh, Lynn.
Paul Lynde was in this.
Yeah, Paul Lynn in the Star Wars.
What 70s special was Paul Lynde not in?
He was the center square.
Has anyone seen the Paul Lynde Halloween special that he did?
No,
Kiss was
That
on it.
question, wow.
This is unreal. Listen, this is as about as far as like Lavender Marriage Chorus.
Who is the only person still alive in Bewitched?
I don't know. The woman?
No, Elizabeth
die?
Montgomery died
Oh,
years
I didn't
ago.
know
So
that.
shame. She was so
I
beautiful.
don't know enough about the cast.
I was gonna say, like, didn't like everyone in that cast like die?
Yeah, except for the
Hardly
kid, the
young,
daughter.
except for-
Oh.
Yeah, but she barely counts.
She was in a show.
She also had a spin-off that didn't time-wise make any sense.
No, but yeah, no, Bewitched. So, but you know who is still alive, and the only survivor from her show. Yes, thank you, Dr. Mark. Thank you. Penzance was terrible. This is why we get along. We think on the same level. He's just smarter than me. Yeah, thank you. It was terrible. It was such a bad show. Please don't ever see Pirates of Penzance or anything Gilbert and Sullivan. Oh God, no.
He is an English.
You know what? This right next to that is the second worst show ever seen.
What?
And I went with your mother to this. You don't know?
No.
Rent.
You're gonna have no.
I don't care.
Do not say that on air. Wait.
Oh, no.
He just did.
I just did. Listen.
He just did.
Rent. Come on. Rent was just. First of all, did you guys ever see it on Broadway?
Yes.
Okay.
My sister performed it at a high school play.
I'm so sorry that you had to see that.
She did a good job.
Well, I'm sure she was fine, but and on Broadway it's a little different, especially if you went like the 7th year of it or the 10th year of the show on Broadway, because it was like going to the Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Okay.
Every person there knew every line to the show at Rent.
Oh.
And I am sitting there. One, I have no clue what the hell's going on in this show. I am sitting there looking at Lisa. Lisa's looking at me. So the intermission happens. And I look, I was like, what the how are all these people enjoying this shit? Like, what the hell's going on?
I'm letting the theater people come after you.
Good, I don't
Exclusively on
care.
this.
They can do whatever they want. And listen, your mother was like, I'm glad you said that. I had no idea what the hell's
Listen,
going on here.
you
But
don't-
wait, even better, the people behind us, like, thank God we just heard you. We are so frightened by what's going on here.
I will say again. The show is not written to explain what's happening. They're really making you like you're working.
First of all,
you're working.
who the hell
for
would
the
want to see that
entertainment.
more than once? These people kept going to see it, and they knew every line, and they were reciting it.
Well, because they apparently liked the music enough to be like, this is good.
You know, and that's the other part that really pisses me off about Broadway theatrical commercials, right? When you watch these, coming to the Schubert Theater is blah, 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 blah. And they take this great song, right? The phenomenal song, like, this is going to be such a great show. Wow. And then you go see the show, like Cats, which is the third worst show I've ever seen in my entire life. Oh, God, Cats is terrible.
I heard the movie was pretty
Right,
good.
right.
The movie
Right,
was horrible.
Dwight goes, well, you had to, yes. Exactly.
It said so in the
Right,
program.
because otherwise you know, whatever.
You're not cultured.
By the way, that
Well,
was-
you
that
know,
thumbs up.
and
I
I
thought it was a middle finger or something like that from the distance.
Listen,
yes, Jeff is with me on this.
Just
Okay, because no, please, no one in this room can possibly tell me they liked Cats.
No.
I never saw it.
By the way, you know what all this has in common? Horrific movies that were made
Right,
also.
yeah.
Listen,
Yeah.
Taylor Swift couldn't even.
Right,
You couldn't
Taylor
like
Swift, and
The
what's
Taylor
the one who plays the flute?
Lizzo.
Lizzo couldn't make it happen. You had Taylor Swift and Lizzo.
Can I just say something?
Judy Dench couldn't make it happen.
Wait, I want to hear James.
Can I just say something to Cats? Why did they think it was such a good idea to CGI the Cats?
Oh
'Cause
yeah,
it looked
creepy.
so bad.
It looked creepy.
It was so bad.
This,
I think James Corden was in that too. I'm like, that
Oh.
made no sense. I hate that guy.
well,
I
and
can't.
how did these shows last? So I gotta believe that there's like these same 300 people that once they like one show, they just go every week or every day.
Because the Andrew Lloyd Webber fans will go to
Phantom.
all of his stuff.
Which is another terrible show.
I liked Phantom. Phantom was cool.
Oh.
It's okay.
No,
Oh my
Phantom was
God.
cool.
I'm not
But
a Broadway show.
I was falling asleep on that. It was terrible.
You're just
Oh.
not cultured.
No, I probably went to 150 to 200 Broadway shows. I just because I sound like I'm a moron.
It's okay. I fell asleep during Wicked the movie, so it's okay.
Well, it was like 4 hours long.
that you went to
Yeah,
even
that-
see Wicked, I take points from you, James.
I didn't
I still haven't seen
First
it.
of all, my fiance wanted to watch it, so I'm trying to be the nice guy and watch it. I fell
Happy
asleep
wife,
halfway
happy
through.
life. I got
I
you.
fell asleep halfway through it, and then I saw Jeff Goldblum pop up. I'm like, okay, fine. I guess I'll finish the rest of the movie.
Yeah, he saved the movie. Yeah. No,
Yes, wonderful.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Right.
See, I,
Okay.
I love
didn't-
Jeff Goldblum. I'm sorry.
How about things like Beatlemania? That was a great show on Broadway. The Magic Man, phenomenal. 42nd Street, Rex Harrison, My Fair Lady, and I got to see one of the versions with Rex Harrison,
Oh, nice.
which was really cool. I got to see The King and I with Yul
Yul
Brenner. I got to see he was with Constance Towers and Yul Brenner at Lincoln Center. So no, I'm
I
not
love
just
the guy
this,
who won
you know,
the
completely, you know, this football player who was like, you know, thrown to, and you know that Woman of the Year is the greatest show of all time, as you've heard me say a million times. No, it's the greatest because the last scene, Raquel Welch opens up, and I got to see Raquel. I got to really see Raquel. So yeah, no, I
What
love
about Les Mis?
no.
See,
No,
actually,
no,
I'm
no.
gonna, what
Absolutely.
what he said about Phantom, like there's too much going on in Land. There's just
Les
there's too much.
Miserables.
Les Mis is like it's very depressing
There's
musical.
yeah,
It's a
there's
very
so much
depressing
going on
musical.
and none of it is pleasant.
Oh wait,
Oh.
and I'll give you the other one that everybody will get mad at me. What's the terrible Hamilton? Oh
Oh,
God.
Wow.
Hamilton?
Oh.
Actually, I can't even put this one.
Come on.
No, what?
I don't like it.
Well,
I
actually,
don't like it.
I'm going with this. I'm going with my hipster thing. I hated Alexander Hamilton long before Hamilton came out. As a history nerd, I find Alexander Hamilton to be one of the most just annoying, most just cheesy. He was a bag, and it was terrible. He was just awful. It was awful.
Yeah, wait.
He was a
I
douchebag.
have it.
And if anyone wants to reach out to me, I will send you my 25-point thing about why I hate Alexander
But
Hamilton.
wait, I have one for you.
Essay.
Have you ever heard of the show Master Harold and the Boys?
Boys. Oh, we talked about Master Harold and the boys when James Earl Jones passed away.
This
You
is
also
true.
seem to mention that in Bingo Long's Traveling All
Well,
Stars.
well, because he was in
Monday.
he was in that as well. He played.
I know.
But yeah, Master Harold and the Boys. For those of you, there is a scene where James Earl Jones. I got to see his naked ass. He dropped his drawers and mooned the entire crowd. Yes, James Earl Jones, Darth effing Vader.
Did he say, "I am your daddy"?
I am your daddy. Yes, phenomenal. You know who? You know.
Thanks. I hate it.
I can't look at James Earl Jones.
How were you looking at him before?
Yeah.
The guy with the very deep. The guy with the very.
I don't know. Either way, it's you know who else had great Broadway shows? Penn and Teller. Penn and Teller. Those Broadway shows were hysterical. And wait, I'll give you another one. Jackie Mason on Broadway was absolutely hysterical. Jackie was just.
I met one of his daughters. She was
Oh, really?
I went to a wedding not with her, but she was there.
Yeah.
We both knew the bride.
Jackie's brother's a rabbi, or was a rabbi.
Is he still living?
No, he
a
died a
couple
few
years.
years
He was
ago.
like 90. He lived
Yeah,
a
no.
long life.
And it was funny that he replaced Rodney Dangerfield in Caddyshack too, because I would say like Jackie Mason was a poor man's Rodney. Rodney to me is the best. By the way, brother Dave does great Rodney.
Yes.
He does.
And he's walking.
He does walk it, but he's funnier with Rodney.
Well, 'cause
Walking.
it helps that Rodney was funny the first place.
Right. But we were actually talking the other night about. Have you ever seen when he used to go on the Johnny Carson show? Some of the
I think I've
reels.
seen some of the clips where Johnny just can't hold it together.
And Johnny knows that there's no way I can actually have an interview here, so he just throws in the prompts because he knows the minute Rodney comes on, it's shtick. He's got his show and he's going down the line, and Johnny's just there for the ride.
Yeah.
And he was phenomenal doing that, you know. And I guess Ed did that for Johnny, so he knew how to do it well. But when he went on, and then the other guy was Rickles. Rickles.
You're gonna need to keep that up there. For like 15
There's a lot of text here. Can we
Yeah.
cliff notes whatever this is?
Just get rid of whatever you're doing. No one cares.
Oh, is this the dissertation he was just talking about?
Yes.
Okay. Can I make a point? They're watching it maybe on their phone, and I can't read it from the 72-inch TV.
The easiest place to take a screenshot is on a phone.
Okay,
Get with it, man.
but genius. I'm watching it on a 72-inch TV, and I can't read a word that's up there.
Yeah,
and you're
because
going to
you're
tell
on
me
the other
that
side
on
of
this
the
little
road.
phone.
You're on-
Wait. But did you see that on the phone? It's a gnat. Are you out of your mind?
I may be, but that's I share your genetics.
No,
It's
that's your
fun being in
mother's
a
fault.
car for 6 hours with you two going to games.
Can you
I was
imagine?
about to say. I feel
Well,
like
he
if I-
falls asleep
if you
in
guys
the
were to
car.
play
Yeah, no,
6
of
hours,
course. Wait, Steph will tell you what it's like being with Corey in the car. Hold on. Steph, what is it like being with Corey in the car? He just falls asleep. Since he's a baby, the minute he gets in the car.
But to his defense, he did play 3.
Well,
shows
of course.
And also,
I was really trying.
I was telling him, I was like, if you're gonna do that, can you maybe at least like recline scene pretty much all the way back? Because he's like laying and he's like sitting in the seat like this.
Yeah, with his head,
Like-
you feel like his neck's gonna just
That's what
fall
I'm
off his
saying.
head.
Yeah.
Yes. I love driving home. Like we're coming home from like Pennsylvania, and we're trying to get home before 2:00 because I have my 2:00 rule. Once it gets past 2:00, I'm like we should go to a hotel. Like we should not drive past 2:00. And my new rule is F that. If we're leaving before 12 or if we're not leaving before 11, we're staying in a hotel. I don't care because you guys are going to make less money. I'm sorry. I cannot drive the late shows anymore. But at least Jack tries to stay awake.
I mean, I try to stay.
Yeah,
with
but okay, Jack successfully stays awake most of the ride. Corey, you awake? Yeah, I'm. No. Yeah.
But by the way, I would just like to say, Mr. I want to end this show 30 minutes early, even though it's now like
We're 10 minutes overtime right now.
I just thought it ended at 9. I forget.
This clock says it's 1998. So
Right.
1990, so I'm supposed to be 3 years old.
All right. Well. All right. So we'll go to other parts and James, what do you got going on?
Same old usual stuff, kind of with everyday people. Donnie watched Lilo and Stitch. He gives out his review about it, and I talk about how much teaching is so difficult towards the end of the school year. Oh, it's vital.
Wait, what do you teach?
I'm a paraprofessional in an elementary school, so I help students that have behavior plans.
Oh, wow.
he's an angel.
I try my best to be an angel, but I feel like I've been more towards the devil.
Listen, someone's got to be.
I'd rather be an air traffic controller.
that's option number 3.
I was going to say, apparently you don't need to do that much.
I got called sassy last week. I told the kid he got to do his work. He's like, "Why don't you do it? This is not my work. It's yours." That's fine.
I would.
Wow.
That's just a profession I wouldn't have done well with. You know, it's funny though. I've always worked in or with educators, but I could never be an educator. Can you imagine some kid talks back to me how that would have worked?
Also,
And he was never heard from again.
just teacher salaries.
Yeah, that too is not something I
Of our
can live with either.
They're making your children smarter.
I have a
They're going to put you in a home. What do you want?
And you know, my mother was a teacher. I grew up with I used to go to the Broadway show with like 10 teachers every Wednesday. So all I knew were teachers. And yet somehow I still ended up in schools all the time. I don't know how that happened. And I told you, I know I'm going off in the show's shit order. But so one of the shows, I forget which holiday it was, we're on the line. And I probably told you guys before, but whatever. We're on the line. And who is right behind me? My science teacher, my Spanish teacher from like my school, not my mother's friends. And we're on the line and like, "Oh, which show are you going to see?" And my mother laughed. She goes, "I'm taking him to the best little whorehouse in Texas." So they're like, "You're doing what?" And then my teachers came with us. And then my mother, being my mother, she's like, "Do you want to go for the best lunch?" They're like, "Why? Where would you go?" "I have a Playboy Club key." I am there with my Spanish health, and there were 3 of the teachers there, and what an embarrassing moment in my life.
That would play out very differently these days.
Can you imagine? For all of you Wantor people who watch this, that really did happen to me. Now, my life is just no one could believe the things that happened. But yes, no, that was a absolute true story. So yes. Imagine
I shouldn't be sitting next to him. I should be kneeling and bowing next to him after all of this.
Yeah, no, that was.
Was this like the 7th time you put that out there?
This is going to be a drinking game one of these episodes. Every time it's fittingly comes up.
This was a drinking game. I think
You gotta get a plaque of that, you know.
I'm putting that like behind me, like where I have all my signs downstairs. There's literally going to be the quote. I was basically the Messiah.
But you know, and you know, it was playing across the street. Peter Pan, Kathy Rigby, the old gymnast. she was Tinkerbell.
And Peter Pan, like your humor, never grew up.
No, it didn't. But I just remember the teachers. That's where you should be going. I'm like, well, you're all coming to the best little whorehouse with me. So listen. All right, Steph. Tell us about what you're doing this week.
I am working on all my social media stuff for my clients. That's right. Rep S Rennie Media. I handle all your graphics and social media platforms like Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, video editing, all that fun stuff. Check me out on Facebook under S Rennie Media Entertainment.
And look, she's here all the time with us. This is how this is what she can do for clients.
My mother was like, "Are you renting a room over there?"
Reman's Rendezvous. It's one of the great stops.
Listen, I'm on
She's in an 8-guitar room.
Right.
Right.
I have 8 guitars. Find my Instagram.
8 female guitars.
I have 8 female guitars. Find my Instagram.
Made in America, no tariffs.
Big Mom.
Sorry, you had no
Did you mention the Rickenbacker sitting over there?
Bing bong.
California made, American made. I'm Memorial Day. Dave, where are you gonna be this week?
There we go.
Thank you. That's my website. Shows and
Check
such,
my
social
website.
media. Yes. Well, it's not going to sound as cool if I say it the way that guy did.
Oops.
It's New England Brewing in Woodbridge on
Oh.
Saturday, about May 31st. Even though we were talking about the rarity of Monday shows, I have yet another one next week.
Oh,
It just came up. It's Bristol, Rhode Island, a place called Judge Roy Bean Saloon. I'm looking forward to finding out why a tavern is named after a judge, but might have a local history.
did something bad just happen?
No,
Oh,
no, I was just thinking about that's where Roger Williams College is.
that is.
It's in Bristol?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay,
it's right
I knew
over-
it was somewhere around there because it's not far from Providence.
I was gonna say, what was the one piece of breaking news that we broke the one time? Someone died while we were on the air.
On the broadcast.
Our career.
Yeah.
Like one of your guests?
No.
Oh no, I forgot.
Who died?
I
Who
know
died while we
exactly
were on
who
the
you're
air?
talking
Oh
about.
yeah, I feel like I know
totally
too.
forgot.
Yeah.
All
It
right,
was like
well, no, it's
it was like someone's husband or something like that.
Oh, Dolly
Died.
Parton.
I don't-
Dolly
Oh,
Parton's
that's right.
husband.
Yeah,
Right
Carl,
before.
Carl
Yeah.
Dean died while we were
That
on
was the
on
one.
Monday.
By the way, Dolly Parton in the movie was the star of the Best Little Whorehouse.
Best Little
in
Whorehouse in
Texas.
Texas.
Yeah, that's the movie that spun out I Will Always Love You, which was much better known by Whitney Houston, but Dolly Parton wrote it.
Yeah.
Wrote it and makes all the money off of it.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, Corey Reedman also sang.
I
this week.
did.
Oh,
Did you? I did on Friday.
Oh,
Yeah.
I was about to
Yeah.
say.
you making women moist all over the place.
It was the men I was scared about.
Probably does that too.
Yes, no, anyway, Corey, do you have any clue what you should promote or do I need to do?
Well, no, I never promote. That being said, my album of the week that I am going to recommend to everybody just got into the Grammy Hall of Fame. It is the album that I consider to be the one that changed my life. It's an
Which
album,
time?
This is an album called Number One Record by the band Big Star. So last week it was inducted into the Grammy Hall of Fame. So I recommend you all check it out. This when I heard this, my mind was blown. I heard this.
Tell
in
everybody
high
who
school.
Big Star, what song they will know from Big Star.
You guys will know, and it's on this album, the original version. If you are fans of That 70s Show, the theme song "In the Streets" that is
Oh.
by Big Star. So
Really?
I highly recommend check out
See,
Big
this is
Star's
why I had to give this.
Big Star's number one record. You can check it out on streaming. Exactly that one. Down the street, same old thing.
Sorry.
All right.
Some audition
Get the
now.
karaoke night.
Yes, maybe that will be one of our shows too.
Yeah,
I will
that's
not
great.
sing, but
Not it.
yeah. So anyway, Corey, just so you know where you're going to be,
Absolutely.
Friday night you are doing a solo show for a corporation in Farmington, Connecticut. Believe it or not,
What a quick drive.
that is one of the great bookings of all time. Then we are doing the fundraiser in Boyce Park in Wingdale, New York.
FTK for the kids, baby.
It is, and we should post.
Us and Wu-Tang.
Steph will be posting this week about the fundraiser. So if you want to buy tickets and go down
Donate
there,
money, like be a good person.
it's like a really good cause, and these are super nice people. Like,
FTK.
For the kids.
so
FTK.
yeah, and then you will be at the Full Moon Resort.
Yep, doing a night before a wedding.
Yep, at Davy Blues. So
none of you can
yep.
show up. So sorry.
Yeah, you can't come.
Hell of a plug.
I was gonna say, really, what a waste of everybody's time.
Actually, but next week, the week after,
Um,
we got some cool stuff just to throw out there.
um,
We do our annual show at the Gun School.
yes,
That is
which
the
then
Frederick
no one can show
Gun
up
School.
to.
You cannot
Um,
come to that one. There will be lots of guards and they'll be armed. So don't go to the door because you ain't getting in.
A lot of arms. What is it? An octopus? Ah!
But what you can do, even if you don't want to ride a bike on June 7th at Two Roads Brewery in Stratford, they do, if you mention the dilemma, right? Don't you get a discount?
I think so. I'll find out if we still have our bikes and beers.
Discount code, and you still get the 2 beers.
Yeah. Well, no, it's actually on the website. I know is that if you don't register to ride for the event, they have a post-show, a post-ride after party thing. That's what you can purchase on the
where you can still get your
Yeah, let's
right.
see.
You still get like your glasses and
and
whatever.
you
and
be
it
there.
helps them out. They're always donating to charity. Do the right thing.
yeah. So if you don't
Help
ride,
them
you can still
out.
go.
Which, by the way, that other show we talked about that got shut down in Greenwich, we did that. We did the wedding in New Hope, and then if it wasn't enough, we had to do the Oktoberfest. At Two Roads. We headlined that day. Corey, by the way, it was.
I had no voice. The beginning of that weekend, I already was like sick. I had no voice to start. When that show got shut down by the really annoying, horrible rich people, I was so excited. I've never been so excited for the Cubs to show up to a show in my life. I'm like, yes. I was like thanking the.
But you got through the wedding.
You have no idea how.
And I'm gonna say this: Cody Bondra really stepped up.
Oh, absolutely.
Cody really jumped in.
He pantomimed for me a few times. He he used like a fake voice to be me a couple times. He sang on his own accord a few songs I was supposed to sing.
I know anyone I could do that for my comedy act. And I don't feel like saying things. I don't
What
think
did you
anyone knows my
have? You
stuff
had like
well enough.
laryngitis.
Yeah, he had blown out the voice, and then the Two Roads gig.
Because it was the end of the season. It was October, or actually it was September.
And this is pandemic time, and this crazy band is playing 4 or 5 shows a week, and we're like, but he did not have COVID, so that was good. But it was crazy time. But anyway, yeah. So you have the 3 shows, but then the next week, yes, the big show. The two Roads, which is always one of the best biking beers.
What a blast!
And
the beer, it's Two Roads.
No, it really is. So that's one where people can come, even if you're not going to do the 15, 30, or 45-mile bike ride. We will be performing there. It's a great show.
Do a couple laps.
Dogs are welcome.
Bring your dogs. And yes, take a couple laps in the beer line. It'll be
Yes.
fine.
And Naya will be there.
Naya,
food
the rock
trucks,
and roll, the super
What?
rock
They have
and
food
roll.
trucks?
Yeah, food trucks, tons of food trucks.
Naya, the rock and roll dog, will be there.
And you
Is this in
guys
the-
play 11 to 2, right?
Yes.
Yes.
7 a.m. to
Is
2
it in the
p.m.
building or in the courtyard?
In the
The courtyard, the second one in the back, where it looks like it should be like an amusement park. It looks like
It looks like a fake factory, but it's a real factory.
right. What's
There should
the
be like a roller coaster.
what's the at the
Hershey Chocolate World?
No. The monorails. It looks like the
There should
monorails.
be a monorail between the two of them.
No, but it looks
It does
like
look like a monorail line. You're not wrong. But
yes.
yeah. No, I would love that. Conan O'Brien make a monorail happen. But with that in mind, everybody, please stay safe. Happy Memorial Day. A lot of people thought and died so we could sit here on a couch and drink beer and talk about ridiculousness. And yeah, no, enjoy every sandwich, everybody. This is absolutely still and forever will be.